Oh, hello, yes. Every day feels like Sunday. Every day is cloudy and grey. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's October, isn't it? Yeah, anyway, today we're going to talk about Douglas Murray. Don't really want to, but I feel I have to. Douglas Murray, where are we? Yes, of course, Eton and Oxbridge, Natch. Although he does come from a slightly less middle class background than that. But anyway, yeah, journalist, and one of those people that will use the word elite, meaning people not like him, oddly enough, in the same way that Jacob Rees-Mogg talks about elites. The right have a different meaning to what an elite is compared to the left. Yeah, anyway, we'll come on to those kind of notions. Anyway, Douglas Murray was on GB News chatting about the inevitable elephant as he sees it in the room, which is the need to tackle Islamic extremism, which is all very well. But after I watched this, I was thinking, well, okay then, but how? Bearing in mind that we've just come out of Afghanistan after 20 years, bearing in mind that before that the Soviet Union was there for 20 years. I mean, the only superpower that hasn't had a pop at so far at that is China. I know, maybe they will. It just strikes me that really odd to say what we need to do is have an open and frank discussion about it. Okay, well, let's really do that. But what exactly are you going to do? We've had a war on terror, yeah. War on an indistinct noun. Problem with wars on indistinct nouns, as I've pointed out before, is they're unwinnable because there's no success criteria. And in his piece to GB News, Douglas Murray is basically proposing the same thing. We just do stuff. I don't know, bomb Libya, maybe Syria somewhere. I don't know, whatever it is. I find these things very, very odd. He also sort of said basically, the reason why we have to do this is because you can't make deals with people like this. And he cited the IRA, which I thought was a really odd one, realistically, because yes, whilst we did discuss things with the IRA. For the best part of 30 years, we had a government that refused to discuss anything with the IRA on any meaningful terms. So for 30 years, were they beyond the pale and we had to talk about that elephant in the room? Or was it that we can actually, if you think about it, basically make deals with people? I mean, if I think with anyone with a kind of basic understanding of the notion of tribal politics in Afghanistan will understand that actually suggesting money might well actually do a great deal in terms of stopping the country melting down and once again being a home to terrorism. But presumably to Douglas Murray, the real issue there isn't necessarily messy stuff like that. It's simply that it's Islam, full stop. And, what's he going to suggest? That we give the police more powers against Islam in the UK? Really beef up the Prevent programme, and for what end? And won't you just alienate the very people that you're supposed to be working with? Or is it just simply that Islam itself is beyond the pale? I don't know, there's too many unanswered questions there. Douglas Murray, again, about a week ago, produced this thing about what it is to be woke, which I thought was really interesting. I thought, oh, well, that'll be interesting. I wonder what he says. Well, it's a classic straw man argument. I mean, he will straw men arguments. In his woke piece, I'll put a link down below, he basically says that woke people are people that have an evangelical zeal to impose themselves on the rest of the world. Said the man who basically is suggesting that we tackle a fifth of the world's population because they're Muslim. That's a bit of an evangelical zeal. And, his worldview contains a very, very, as far as I'm concerned, warped view of what being left is, leaving aside the woke thing, but just generally left-wing. I mean, he produced a book recently, The Long March, which is a classic of a kind of cultural Bolshevism text, in the sense that, once again, he confuses left-wingers analysing something with a major plan. So, of course, it's all about the Frankfurt School and the fact that, universities encourage students to be trans and it's all a plot from the 1960s. right? I don't know. I find these things bizarre. But the worst part about Douglas Murray is the fact that he gives this veneer, and it is a veneer, of respectability to some extremely dodgy opinions. You don't. I mean, he complains about this that oh, well, you need to see the nuance. No, no, mate, I do see the nuance, but I also see the links. A lot of people like Douglas Murray make a very good living out of taking what are basically fascist notions like the Great Replacement theory, and they dress it up as something else, and it then becomes respectable because we all sit on sofas and have a sensible, grown-up, middle-class discussion about it. So that's okay. I don't know. Have a look at the links below. See what you think. But I'm just astounded that I know David Amos got murdered, and that was a major thing. But do we really need to basically go to war with a fifth of the planet because of their religion? I can't see it. Anyway, let me know what you think. Sunday, a bit of a heavy subject, didn't it? Still, at least it's religion.